fellow viewers. Well, firstly, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who came back on my last blog last week. It's a lot of work running this channel behind the scenes, a lot more in terms of YouTube these days, invested into it than people realise. And it's great to get some feedback on that from you guys as well. I mean, looking at some of the comments there as well, a lot of you looking forward to a Q&A, but not having it necessarily every week. And so I've been rolling over ideas of what I think would work. And what I'm going to do is every week I'm going to create a thread on the VVV forum. And in there, just simply pop your questions in. And when you have a question, I'll answer some of those and I'll work more on a weekly blog. Now, we're looking to arrange more of a weekly structure. We've been working 7 days a week and ridiculous hours for a long time. And I'm looking to take the burden off, make it a bit more fun so that we have the time to make quality videos. You know, one thing I'm finding about YouTube these days is that YouTube wants you to put out a video every day. And something I've always wanted to do is create videos with a little bit more quality, you know, and I spend a bit more time editing them. And of course, all that's meant for me is rather where I was working a 10-hour day, now I'm working a 12 or a 14-hour day to get those same amount of videos done. And that's simply because of processing. And sometimes things go wrong. You make a video, you process it, takes hours to make, you get right to the end, you upload it on YouTube, and then just before you make it public, you find a problem. Right, that's back to the drawing board, another 5 hours work. So things like that occasionally happen on YouTube when you're trying to make something that's a premium quality. And I've taken my time to invest in it. So we're going to work on a more structured content, but also I'm going to reduce the amount of games I'm playing, because what happens quite often is I play a bit of Forza, bit of GT, bit of iRacing, bit of Project Cars, bit of Assetto Corsa, and then, you know, plus many other games, Formula One, whatever it is. And then people wonder why you're not good, you're not the best at every single one. And you say, well, I've not practiced them. I get on Assetto Corsa, I have 30 minutes, I record a video, I spend several hours making that video, and that's what you see. There's not the time to necessarily use those cars every day, really get to grips with the tracks and really find those lap times. And occasionally when people expect perfect play, I think that's because that's not what I do. There's no time to do that. But I do want to settle into some racing games. I do want to find that, because otherwise what happens is it's just we're moving from game to game, and I play a game sometimes I think I really enjoyed that experience, and then it's moving on to another one. Now, racing experiences, different games appeal to different people. There's always, you're never going to get everyone liking iRacing or everyone liking, you know, Daytona USA on the Dreamcast or, you know, whatever. Completely different audiences. You know, I'm somebody who's pretty flexible. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I was playing Grid 2 this week. I'm going to put a video up of that. Really enjoy it on the triple screens on the PC. It runs super smooth, looks great compared to the console versions. Triple screen, great detail, and the graphics engine from Codemasters for me is still the best in triple screens by some margin. It just runs so well. Everything runs perfectly. But it means that we can focus more on the titles that we do cover, while we look at some volunteers, and if we can find them to cover the other titles that we aren't able to cover at the moment. And those really are Gran Turismo and Forza 5, because you need to invest a lot of time in the games and a lot of time in the community as well. The big racing communities play these. Big, you know, guys into the sort of modding and the painting. That's a really in-depth thing, and it's something I used to be well into years ago. I mean, Team VVV had a huge Forza presence and PGR years ago, but of course I know now that there isn't the time to cover all of that, and hopefully we'll find someone in the future. Very difficult finding people who are committed to it, but hopefully we will get there in the end. And I think that's the thing that people realise when they're making videos daily, weekly, is the commitment that you need to making those videos. Now, something that's been mentioned to me is a room tour, and I thought, well, today I thought I'd do a small room tour. And I thought I'd build on it, because when people see this stack of games, they don't realise the passion that was behind it, or the years it's taken to collect, or where I was at that time. And I've been watching another channel recently called GameSack. I enjoy it immensely. Two guys in the US. They talk about games from years ago, and I just thought, you know, that's completely where I am with a lot of stuff. Yes, I play all the racing games when I make all my videos, but behind the scenes I play a lot of other genres as well. I'm quite a big retro gamer, so I thought, why not have a little tour now and see what the rooms are all about. So let's move you guys and see if we can get a bit untangled. So up here we have the shelves. Let's take you up there on your tripod. Up there we have the shelves, and what do we see here then? So up the top there we have our Japanese PS2 collection, then UK PS2 collection behind there, and then we have random imported titles and the UK Dreamcast collection, some Japanese Dreamcast and UK Saturn collection. Behind there we have the US SNES collection, then the Game Boy Color collection, and we have the N64 US N64 collection. And then over in the cabinet we have the UK SNES collection. We have the Japanese Saturn collection, the Japanese Dreamcast collection, more Japanese Saturn, the PC Engine collection, Turbo Duo collection, Japanese PlayStation collection, and then over here we have the Mega Drive in the back collection that you can see, and of course in front of that we have the UK Xbox. Then we have the AES Neo Geo selection that you see here with other bits and bobs I have on the shelf, and of course the white discs there, that's a UK PS2 promo collection. Moving around the room, if we look, if anybody has ever wondered, below the shelves we have the retro area here, and we have an old TV, and we have a switchable Mega Drive that can switch between 60 Hz, so I can get full screen gaming on a UK Mega Drive. We have a Mega CD2 under there. We have a Japanese Dreamcast and a UK Dreamcast. We have a Japanese Neo Geo, and we also have a AES Neo Geo. We also have a US AES. We have two GameCubes. We have the Japanese one and American. Well, it's actually an American one, which is the purple one, which can also switch to Japanese. And then we have the UK one. And then over here we have an original 95 PS1, which of course can play games from all regions, just in the music selection screen. We have a switchable Xbox One, which is for offline purposes, which you can use for emulation as well. We have one of 3 Saturns, that's the Japanese one. We have the universal adapter for all games. We have the second Xbox, which is for online purposes. We have the SNES, which is switchable, so I can get full screen gaming, full speed on the UK SNES. Then we have the US N64, and we have one of 2 NESs on display there that I can use for whatever. These days I think emulation is much more sensible than the NESs. Then we have, what do we have here? We have the old wheel stand. I forget the name of that one now. What's that one called? Earl RS wheel stand. They're very handy for testing different wheels on when I don't want to actually fit them to the rig. It's just handy to slide them on there. We have the Formula rig, which we haven't tested yet. We don't have a stand for it, so that's stacked in the corner at the moment. So still waiting to be tested. It does fit me. I'm marginally too tall. Still moving stuff around there. We've got an old Turbo Duo there. Then we have the TX wheel, which I've been testing on the Xbox One, and that all works there. So quite a nice little setup that we have there. Then we have the PS1 collection, which you can see stacks of PS1 stuff there. A bit of Bruce Lee, Vader and Bruce Lee. We've got an alien fight up there as well. That's been there years, that stuff, I tell you. Probably got it all about 10, 11, 12 years ago now. The years fly, 15 years even. We have more games and demos. We have the Mega CD collection up there, more consoles. A lot of consoles are put away. And then over here we have obviously all our boxes and everything else, whole stack of boxes and everything. So boxes, that's the main area. Then what do we have? We have my desk. Let's take a look at the desk. Let's take you around. Oh, so desk is a mess, but we have the desk here. It's always a mess, plugs and bits and bobs, and plus all my wires and cables and everything I keep underneath there. So lots and lots of stuff in this tiny little room. If we back out, we get an idea on just how tight the space is in the room that we have to work in here. And of course back to the shelves where I do all my stuff. So it's a nice little selection. If we just put you back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos, which is going to take you from where I got interested in video games and how this collection has come about. And people see this collection, they say, cool, that's worth lots of money. And you say, well, yes and no. It's taken 25 years to put that collection together. And if you build on it every year in 25 years, it's reasonable to bring it all together. It just takes time and commitment and passion. And that's what a lot of this represents, is passion for gaming over too many years, I have to say. You know, and there's so much good gaming stuff out there that's in this room that probably people have never heard of. There's still lots to test. I mean, on the shelf behind me up here, we have, what do we have? Can we see it here? We've got On Live, which I've been sent as well. So we've got On Live to test out. I'm going to be doing some stuff on that, seeing if it improves with racing games, because the reaction wasn't as good there. We've got the Race from Experience controller to test out as well. That's going to be tested out. Now we've got the PC up and running in the next few weeks, so we've got that to try out. And you know, so much sort of gaming goodness that this room represents. And I think what's also key for people is, you know, when you take a game, let's grab a couple of games here. Let's grab. Here's a good example. Okay, here's a good gaming example for you. Revenge of Shinobi. Now, this was back in the day. I used to get 4 games a year. You know, when people complain today about games, well, I had 4 games a year. That's all I had to play. This game was really hard. But when you only had 4 games, you played that game forever and you became a ninja. It's true, you became a ninja. I could play this game with my eyes closed. I was amazing at it at the time. I play it now, it's completely beyond me. I mean, I don't know where I found the skill to do it at the time. But it just showed how good you got at the games when you only had a few playing. Whereas today we have so many new games, we have demos, we have YouTube. Another important aspect is obviously if you didn't own this game, you would just see pictures and you would always wonder what it looked like when it was playing. Unless you owned a game, you never saw any aspect of it running. So I'm going to run some retro videos. I'll go through the racing titles as well. Bit of Hang On here. I used to play Hang On a long time ago. Goodness. I might even have a quick go now, actually, just to finish the video, just to finish this video for this chat, and then after that, I will set up the threads on the forums, or a thread, and then those who have Q&A questions, pop them in there, and that'll be a big help for us. Again, a big thank you to everyone who's put some time into responding on YouTube as well in that last video, and watching a bit of this. What have we got coming in the next few days? Well, we've got a bit of Formula 1. Oh, we've got Formula 1. Goodness, I haven't even mentioned Formula 1 yet. I've decided not to do the Formula 1 blogs this year. So that's quite late in the video, obviously mentioning that, and only 15% of you will get this far, according to YouTube. The other, 85% will have stopped watching by now, because people have short attention spans, apparently. But yes, Formula 1. I'm not going to do my blogs this year, because I've been doing blogs for the last few years. 5 years now I've been doing the blogs, not all in video form. I used to do them in written form. And I thought this year I just want to enjoy the F1, just chill out and enjoy it. I think sometimes it's work every Sunday, and it's not always much fun, and they don't always get as many views, and we don't have all the photographs. But there will be the odd blog about F1, no doubt. I'm looking forward to it. My only concern this season is that it's going to be a whitewash for the Mercedes teams, and that's not what we want. Yes, we want to see Red Bull beaten, but we don't want to see a whitewash by Mercedes, and we want to see competitive racing. So let's crack on now with some biking. Hopefully this won't be too loud, but I'll cut it. There. Now you've got my voice without kick-ass microphone. I'm going to play some Super Hang On for the end of this video. I'm going to come back to this another time when I figured out how to record it. I'm trying to get it recorded, as you can see, just at the edge there. Go on, down a bit. There, I've got PVR just died. I have a drink. And now I'm going to do some biking. So let's crack on with some biking. I thought we'd have some other biking games to show you, but we haven't, so I'm just going to play a bit of this and I'm going to be rubbish at it, and I'm going to talk my way through. Bit of hang on. Now, when I first played this in the arcade years ago, I was too short to even sit on the bike. It's had a massive bike arcade machine, but we'll just do the beginner now because it's not too long for the video, otherwise we'll be here all day. Yeah, we'll do sprinter music. The music in this game is hugely depressing. Oh, we're running in full screen, which means I'm used to not running at this speed, but that's no excuse. Let's see how we get on. Oh goodness. Oh god, that's bad. Oh come on, I've got to concentrate now. This game requires so much focus you would not believe. So we're through the first stage. Can we make it to the finish? I bloody hope so. If we crash, it's over though. So you get a boost when you hit 280 kilometers an hour. And I can't talk and play this game. Oh my god. Because I don't do so much talk and play these days. These days I record the commentary afterwards because it gave me room to do better commentary, and you know, that way sometimes occasionally there'll be a dirty word, and so it would mean that I did actually record a whole bunch of outtakes, but I haven't been doing that on the channel, and I'm trying not to start. I can't promise it in this video. We're alright though, we're okay. Bikers, crazy guys. Oh my god, that was a slow corner, wasn't it? Horrible, horrible corner. My button gets stuck down on the arcade power stick. A vital tool for all Mega Drive players. I couldn't use just a controller. Never worked for me. Halfway on this mission. See if we can make it through the varying backdrops of Hang On. Amazing in the arcade years ago. You know, it had, like I say, a massive bike arcade machine. On the Mega Drive, this was alright. This was an early Mega Drive game. I was actually more impressed technically with the Master System version at the time, but we're going back to the, late 80s and all the rest of it for that. At the time, this is what arcade driving games were all about. I'm also going to take a look at the some other older retro games. You know, the one different thing as well is pointing out that compared to a lot of what you see online, a lot of people tend to use emulators now. And so when you use an emulator, you can cut and, you know, cut it all together. A lot of people make out they're better at games than they actually are because they edit the video, cut the video to cut out all of the mistakes. But when you play a game like this on the Mega Drive, you know, there's no cutting out those errors. If I crash into walls, you're going to see it. So I'm going to try and get to the end. Unfortunately, if I crash once, I won't make it to the goal. So this run isn't too long. When you're doing some of the expert runs, you have 18 stages, which is 3 times the length of this. It's actually quite mentally draining. Trying to avoid the other bikes is actually quite tricky. Oh goodness. So we're on to the final stage at least, even if we don't make it, we hit another bite. Very hard to avoid them sometimes. Oh my goodness, are we going to make it? Oh goodness, that was close. Oh no, disaster. Nothing to do to avoid that one, unfortunately. Just came off the corner wrong. It's going to be close. Oh, we're good. We've made it to the goal at least. Goodness, that was pressure. Pressure. Maximum pressure. But we got to the end. You didn't see the ending of Hang On. There it is. Ending of Hang On. Lovely. Happy man. Despite that horrible crash, I was actually quite lucky to get away with that one. Probably because I went faster at an earlier point. But no point putting your name in, because unfortunately these games never remember your name. But that was a rather random blog today. So what have we got coming up on the channel? Well, we've got a bit of this and that. We've got a lot in the pipeline for the future. We've got lots more PC gaming still to come. My iRacing career is going to kick off as well. Neil's unavailable, of course. Hopefully once he gets back online there'll be a bit more of that as well. But that's it from me on this video. I hope you've enjoyed this random blog for this week, and we'll get more into a structure in the coming weeks, so you're going to know what's going to be on the channel Monday to Friday. You're going to know what you're going to watch. We will be putting out a little bit less than we have before, but there will be a little bit more time going into editing and making sure the content is what we want to show. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.